Greetings and salutations. Let's go over family as a social institution. Family is a primary social institution, meaning it's the basic unit in our society. We would not have society without family. Family is the basis for how people are socialized. The early years are critical for creating future successful adults. Does this alarm you or not? Good food for thought. Functions of family: regulating sexual behavior, promotes marriage and thus society. Talking about procreation. The idea of what marriage is has changed a lot in our society. I think this would also apply to couples who choose to cohabitate without the marriage license. Patterning reproduction. Members must be replaced. People die. And if babies are not born, then again, would we have a society? If everyone all of a sudden decided they are no longer going to have babies, well, it's kind of obvious, but did you ever think about it? Organizing production and consumption is another function of the family. We go to work, we make money, we produce ideas, services, products, and then we get paid, and then we consume. So back in the old days, people would make their shoes, that you might be a shoemaker and you could trade your pair of shoes for, I don't know what, a hat. If you don't know how to make a hat, the other person who makes a hat is a hat maker, makes hats, and needs shoes. So you all trade. It's not literal. The idea of how we produce and consume has changed a lot over the years. I hope I didn't lose you on that. I got a little discombobulated, but you get my point. We make money and then we put it back out into the economy. Socializing children. Families transmit values, beliefs, and traditions. Again, culture is a group of people who share values, beliefs, and traditions, and it's the family that carries those values, beliefs, and traditions from one generation to another. Providing care and protection. Families provide food, shelter, and a newer concept is also providing emotional support. Back in the day, families were big because they needed labor on the farm, so that's why a lot of people had many, many children, plus contraception was not being practiced. What else? And in this day and age, kids are so expensive. We earn money other ways besides laboring on a farm, so we have fewer children. And it's when we move from farm to factory to other venues in society that spread from the Industrial Revolution that now people are mostly choosing to have children, and therefore emotional support is an expectation. But back in the day, it was kids were free labor, which is an interesting concept. Providing social status. The socioeconomic status that a person is born into will likely stay fixed for the duration of their life. If you think about that proverbial pyramid with socioeconomic status, you might go up 2 ranks or down 2 ranks, because there's a lot of variations between rich, the middle class, and the poor. But the likelihood is that the socioeconomic status one is born into is the one that will stay fixed again and passed on from one generation to another. So those are the functions of family. All right, so I just went over the functions of the family, and it's important to know that each function of the family does transfer to the secondary institutions. Those institutions including religion, education, economics, and political systems. So how would you correlate the functions of the family to the other social institutions in our society, those secondary institutions? It goes without saying that all social institutions reflect and reinforce one another. Where do you think we are headed as a society? Do you think that we're moving forwards or backwards? Do you think there are more social problems with the families that exist today compared to the old days? How is that reflected in the media? Be interesting to think about. I just had a thought. It's like we have all these TV shows now that highlight dysfunctional families. And it's like back in the day, it was always like the traditional American family. Everything is great. You know, Leave It to Beaver, Father Knows Best, Brady Bunch. And now it's like all the newer shows, it's like, oh my gosh, look at the dysfunction. Well, how does that dysfunction in the family transfer to society at large? Where are we headed? Food for thought. All right, looking at family and the sociological perspectives, functionalism. Family promotes a stable society. According to conflict theory, family perpetuates inequalities. And that is all. I would love to know your thoughts. Do you agree, disagree? Do you think that there's some wiggle room? There's always wiggle room. Text me, message me. Let's set up a video conference or a phone call, whatever floats your boat. Have a wonderful day. Yo.